We interrupt your programming on air and on WFMY Plus to bring you a developing story out of Raleigh, where Governor Josh Stein is preparing to give an update on how departments are getting ready for this winter storm hitting our state tomorrow. Let's listen.
We expect more winter weather to return to our state tomorrow, impacting the majority of North Carolina. So this morning, I've declared a state of emergency across the state to respond to this weather development. As a result of that declaration, we are activating the cross-agency storm response that is the State Emergency Response Team. It includes the Department of Transportation, the Department of Public Safety, the North Carolina National Guard, the State Highway Patrol, and our state's utilities. Momentarily, you will hear from Emergency Management Director Will Ray about the winter storm and our emergency response operations, and from Secretary Joey Hopkins about NCDOT's work to keep our roads as safe as possible. As Director Ray will outline, this winter storm will likely hit the majority of the state. At this time, our greatest concerns are potential power outages and road safety. Ice accumulation may lead to power outages, so we recommend that everyone keep their devices charged and have a flashlight on hand. In addition, precipitation and freezing temperatures will make a mess of our roads. Temperatures may warm above freezing in some parts of the state Thursday, but they are sure to freeze again Thursday night. Thawing and refreezing will lead to black ice, so everyone needs to be especially careful on our roads. Please avoid traveling unless it is necessary to travel. Many communities will be opening warming stations for those who need a safe refuge from the cold temperatures. You can find information on resources in your community by visiting your local government and emergency management agencies' websites and social media accounts. This morning, in addition to Director Ray and Secretary of Transportation Hopkins, I'm also joined by Secretary of Public Safety Eddie Buffalo, the Chief of Staff of the North Carolina National Guard, Colonel Ed Wallace, and Commander of the State Highway Patrol, Colonel Freddie Johnson. As we stand here now, emergency management officials, Department of Transportation crews, the Highway Patrol, and our National Guard are preparing for the winter weather, brining the roads, positioning resources, clearing abandoned cars from the shoulders of our highways, and working closely with local governments across the state to coordinate assistance quickly. Erica Kugler and Jackie Mativier are our Spanish language interpreters, and our American Sign Language interpreters are Karen Magoon and Nicole Fox. I'll now invite forward Emergency Management Director Will Ray to provide more updates. Director Ray.
Thank you, Governor, and good morning, everyone. Winter weather once again will impact our state tomorrow and into Thursday with a variety of winter precipitation types. The greatest snowfall totals of 2 to 6 inches and locally up to 9 inches of accumulation are forecast along our northern portions of the central and eastern parts of North Carolina. Accumulations of 2 to 4 inches are also expected across the northern mountains and in higher elevations in western North Carolina. Lighter snow accumulations of 1 to 3 inches are expected elsewhere across the state, with the exception being southeastern North Carolina, where freezing rain or rain is expected. We're also monitoring the forecast of ice accumulation as areas along the US 70 corridor near Goldsboro, Jacksonville, and New Bern to the northeast could see a maximum ice accumulation of 0.3 of an inch. Additionally, portions of central and eastern North Carolina may see 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. As a reminder, ice accumulations of around 1/4 inch and greater will cause tree branches to snap and can cause power outages as well as hazardous travel conditions. If your power goes out during this storm, please ensure that generators are operated outside and away from open windows or doors to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Never burn charcoal indoors or use a gas grill indoors. Properly vent all kerosene heaters and make sure that heaters have space around them to reduce fire risk. Use battery-powered sources for light instead of candles to, again, reduce fire risk. And make sure that you have plenty of warm blankets and clothing available. Hazardous travel conditions are expected tomorrow and over the next several days. We ask that all North Carolinians continue to monitor the weather tomorrow and stay off the roads when possible. Unnecessary travel not only puts you at risk, but also the public safety personnel, the power crews, and DOT workers that will need to respond if there is an issue. If you must drive in winter conditions, our partners with the State Highway Patrol advise reducing speed significantly, increasing distance between other vehicles, and clearing all snow and ice from your vehicle before traveling. Given the forecast, let's make their work easier by staying off the roads unless absolutely necessary. The State Emergency Response Team has been activated and is working with key partners such as the Department of Transportation, the North Carolina National Guard, the State Highway Patrol, the Department of Health and Human Services, and our local emergency management agencies to ensure that any resources needed are quickly provided to communities throughout our state. As a part of the activation, our state's energy providers will be integrated here at the State Emergency Operations Center. We've been in close coordination with them over the last several days, and they are positioned to quickly respond to any power outages to reduce restoration times. As the governor said, a state of emergency has been issued in preparation for this event, and the State Emergency Operations Center, along with our regional coordination centers, remain in close communication with our local emergency managers across the state. Based on forecasted impacts, we have activated more than 180 National Guardsmen to assist the State Emergency Response Team in supporting communities that are impacted by this storm. National Guard assets are pre-positioned in Kinston, Elizabethtown, Edenton, Greensboro, Lewisburg, Rockingham, Surrey County, Raleigh, and Charlotte to quickly respond to the needs in those areas. Their primary mission is to support local public safety agencies and emergency services, as well as the Department of Transportation. Remember to utilize 911 only for emergencies. If you need general information regarding the storm, please visit www.readync.gov, where you can find information on power outages, roadway conditions through drivenc.gov, and general preparedness information to make sure that you and your family are safe during this winter storm. Remember to enable emergency alerts on your mobile device and make sure it is fully charged to ensure you receive life-saving notifications from local authorities or the National Weather Service. Outside of the winter storm, North Carolina Emergency Management has deployed 4 state search and rescue teams to provide swiftwater rescue assistance to Kentucky as a result of the ongoing flooding there. Our hearts go out to those impacted by the ongoing flooding, and it is an honor for us to help our neighbor states in their time of need, just as they did for North Carolina during Helene, when 39 states responded in our time of need. I want to thank and acknowledge the dedication of team members from Asheville Fire, Charlotte Fire, Winston-Salem Fire, and New Hanover County Fire that are in Kentucky assisting local first responders. Finally, for those in western North Carolina continuing to recover from the devastation of Tropical Storm Helene, as a reminder, if you need resources, assistance with housing, or help navigating the recovery process, please call the North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program at 1-844-746-2326 or visit ncdps.gov/Helene. The North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program was established to guide survivors through the recovery process, to assist with making a recovery plan to fit individual needs, and to find resources to assist each survivor. As a reminder, you do not have to apply for FEMA assistance to receive assistance through the state program. As a note, the FEMA Disaster Recovery Centers in Western North Carolina will be closed tomorrow due to the inclement weather for in-person services. Disaster survivors can still access services tomorrow by calling 1-800-621-3362. Finally, please check on your friends, family members, neighbors, and those in your community who may need additional support, especially as it relates to food or water. We are stronger and more resilient together. I'll now turn it over to Secretary Hopkins for his update. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Ray. Good morning. As another winter storm approaches central North Carolina this week, please know that our crews and contractors have been working hard to prepare North Carolina roads for the pending snow and ice. We have more than 1,300 employees and contractors that are conducting pre-storm preparations. As of this morning, we have used 1 million gallons of brine to pre-treat hundreds of miles of highways across the state. We also have nearly 500 trucks with plows and spreaders and 240 motor graders ready to remove snow and ice. We have 130,000 tons of salt ready to treat roads once the snow hits. We are staging equipment in areas that are known trouble spots during winter storms, so crews can quickly plow and treat roads. We're also working with our partner agencies, the North Carolina State Highway Patrol and the North Carolina National Guard, to help clear roads of disabled vehicles in hot spots where breakdowns frequently occur during winter storms and on highway shoulders. Their assistance enables quicker clearance of disabled vehicles so our snowplow operators can work to clear any snow off the road. Once the storm hits, our crews are prepared to work day and night in shifts to plow and treat snow and ice until all the state-maintained roads are cleared. Our first priorities will be the interstates and other major highways, then other U.S. and NC routes, and then secondary roads. Please know that we will respond and clear roads as quickly as possible. Unless it is absolutely necessary, avoid traveling during and after the storm. This allows our crews time to clear roads safely. We ask that everyone be patient and stay off the roads. As conditions improve, please check drivenc.gov for the latest travel information. Thank you, and I'm going to turn it back over to Governor Stein.
Thank you, Director Ray, Secretary Hopkins, for those updates. During winter weather, just like any severe weather situation in our state, the #1 priority of the state of North Carolina is keeping our people safe. So we recommend that you take the following actions to navigate this winter weather event. Make sure you have everything you need in advance of the winter storm. Pay close attention to your local weather forecasts and enable emergency alerts on your phone to receive updates from your local emergency management agency and from the National Weather Service. Keep cell phones, mobile devices, and spare batteries charged in case you lose power. Keep cabinet doors open for pipes located under sinks to stay warm, and let your faucets drip to prevent freezing. In snowy and icy areas, avoid traveling. If you have to be on the road, store an emergency kit in your vehicle. And don't forget to check on your loved ones and anyone you know who might be vulnerable, especially the elderly. Thank you. I'll now open the floor to questions here in the room and go to the mics on the sides if you have any questions, and you can direct them to any of the folks here. We'll start on this side.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Dina with CBS 17. Are there any special preparations happening in Western North Carolina specifically for people who are still out of their homes?
Director.
So thanks for that question. I think the focus on the recovery efforts, particularly around housing, are continuing. And as a reminder, we have a number of options that are available for disaster survivors, for transitional sheltering, or for housing assistance. And so would ask that if there are specific needs, if there are survivors that have those specific needs in the impacted communities, that they do call that disaster case management line to help navigate that. As we've looked at over the last couple of days at the run-up to this event and potential impact, I think obviously the more significant weather impact seems to be trending towards the central and eastern part of the state. And so much of the snow and weather that is forecasted in the west is within what we would say local capability and capacity. And so a number of those communities are doing targeted outreach to those individuals that they know of in their jurisdictions that have additional needs. And we stand ready to support some of those specifically as they reach out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Governor Terry from SanfordTV.live and WWGP. Two questions.
You have been watching a special news conference from Governor Josh Stein, as well as emergency management and DOT from the Emergency Operations Center in Raleigh, where a team of storm response agencies are gearing up for whatever this winter storm brings tomorrow into Thursday and possibly beyond, with lingering snow and ice. We know North Carolina officially under that state of emergency, largely a formality to allow for more resources to get through. We know state search and rescue teams are activated also while assisting in Kentucky right now. There are resources here at home that are plentiful, including 1 million gallons of brine that have already been used to pre-treat roads, 1,000 trucks, and 240 motor graders. The governor emphasizing we do have ample salt as of now to get us through this storm, 130,000 tons of salt. The main focus right now is preparedness, getting ready. Charge your devices, make sure you have an emergency plan, have a flashlight handy in the event we do have power outages. Power outage crews are among those staging at that emergency operations center for this storm. The big takeaway here is the governor's message: keeping people safe is the top priority. We'll have much more coming up on WFMY News 2 at noon. Thanks for joining us on air and on WFMY Plus.